o'clock?
No, it's 8 o'clock. It's
8
not too bad.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you had your coffee.
Yes. I'm well, thanks. Okay, am I good to go, Nashi?
Yeah, you can good to go. Matt Anderson, thank you so much.
All right, my pleasure, everybody. Great to spend some time with you. So
you can share sorry, Matt, you can share your presentation if you want.
Okay, can you see my screen, Tiny Habits? Nashi, can everyone see my screen where it says Tiny Habits for top of the table business?
Not yet, not yet.
Oh, you can't?
No,
really?
I'm seeing your Zoom only.
Oh, that's weird.
The browser.
Hang on a second. Let me try. I'll do it again. Share screen. Share. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint now?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Good. I'm glad you clarified. Okay, good. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good to spend some time with you. There's basically what I want to talk about today are what I refer to as tiny habits, because they are easy ways to start doing something new. And they are based on this book that was written by Stanford University professor B.J. Fogg. This was a business bestseller in 2020, and it's based on 20 years of research and 40,000 case studies. So it's very well studied. My story is, for 20 years, I coached people, a lot of people, and only about 15% of them got great results. And I understood only in the last 2 years why it was. Like, I thought it was because they were more motivated. But what I learned, and this is for you, all of you, is that so long as you're willing to change, you're open to doing something new. And then number two, you're open, you're willing to introduce a new habit, to do some new things, but also to look at things differently in your mind. Like, that part's really, really important, because our brain has to buy in. Our brain has to agree with what we want to do. And then we have to do the things to get us there. And then number three, they did not give up. Most people give up for many reasons. So these are the things that I would ask you today, is to be willing to change, to be willing to develop some new ways to do things, some new habits, and not to give up. Because if you'll do those things, you can't fail. So it's very exciting. And everybody can learn this now when you start small and easy. So the problem that I had, and my clients had, or most of my clients, is that I didn't know how people changed. I thought that motivation was the only thing people could either have or not have. And I was wrong. Motivation is not reliable. So you don't want to depend on motivation. It's not enough. Okay. But learning to change is a skill. It's a skill like anything else, like learning a foreign language, like learning English was a skill, right? It took time. Learning a musical instrument, learning to play a sport, learning a new habit is exactly the same thing. Okay, you can do it. It just takes time. And that's where all our results we have in our whole life come from our habits, from everything we do day in and day out. And by the way, Aline, Naji, if I am not clear, or if people don't understand, interrupt me and tell me, okay, please, if I go too fast. So today, now I've only got about 15 minutes, but this is easy to understand, but there are 5 steps to this. The first one is, in your mind, what type of person do you want to be? Who do you want to become as a person? That's the first question. And then you think of lots of ideas about, okay, what do I need to do to become that type of person, that action part? And then you take all these ideas and you bring it down to something very small and easy, because that will feel successful. That will feel good to start out with a victory, with a win. And then you understand how to write your own habits. And afterwards, Aline will share some more ideas on that and some more material. There's a handout that you can look at. And then the exciting part is then going from something very small to going as big as you want, where many things are possible. And that's where it gets exciting. But to get to the exciting part, you've got to start out with you've got to start. So question one then is, what type of person do you want to become? And only you can answer that question. All right. So I don't know your answer. But however, include the word increasingly. And if you don't understand the word increasingly, Naji, Aline, could you translate that? Because it's really, really, really important. Okay. Because you want to, so do you need to become more organized? Do you need to take more ownership, to be more responsible in your job? Do you need to become a leader? Again, you can see these for yourself. Do you need more control over your time, over your day? What's the most important thing? And these are just ideas, right? I don't know what your answer is. These are just ideas. But this is where you start. Who do you want to be in the next few months? And again, include the word increasingly, because otherwise your brain may not believe you. I have to give one quick example. Let's just say I have done no exercise for 3 years, and I say to myself, I want to be someone who can run a marathon, like something that's really hard. My brain will not believe it. My brain won't let me do those things for very long because it's too big of a change. Okay, I hope that's clear. However, if I say to myself, I am the type of person who is increasingly healthy, then I can be really unhealthy now if I've not exercised for 3 years. But everything I do to get healthier, eat better, sleep better, exercise, even if it's a little bit, my brain can start to say, okay, so you're becoming healthier. I hope that makes sense. So increasingly is really important, so that your brain has to buy into this. Otherwise it won't work. That's point number one. All right. Point number two is just brainstorm. In other words, think of lots of ideas about how you could become more organized or better with how you manage your day, how you manage your time. Okay, that's the second step. And I left this open actually for you as a group here. So let's see. So videos wise, so I don't know if Aline or Naji, this is a good time for each of you to write down some ideas. And I'm happy to do one quick example. And Aline, Naji, I don't know if you want to come off mute with me here to start this process. You don't have to, but what I want all of you watching this to do now is just write down some ideas. So Naji, I don't know, do you want to pick an example, whether it's increasingly organized or increasingly better with time is the one that would be useful today?
Yeah, you know what I'm focusing is controlling my time.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing you do then is, what are some ideas about things that you can do to get better at controlling your time? I mean, just quickly.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Do you want to share a few ideas with everybody?
Yeah, it's Ali.
Yes, we can have a time management in order to be in control in our day. I think this is the best way to control our day, to have exactly the right time management, and to put to prioritize things, to finish what is important first of all, and then we do the unimportant or unurgent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, that's a great idea. So yeah, so prioritize. What's the most important task I must do first, and then come up with other ideas. It might be to put a schedule for your day, 8 o'clock, from 8 to 8:30, I'm going to do this, and so on and so forth, throughout the day. So brainstorm ideas. It's funny, actually, I don't know if you can see, well, you can see this. I use this all the time. So I'll say, okay, the most important task is this. I set my timer, and it keeps me focused. I put my phone away so I can't see it. But that way I just stay on one task. And so anyway, the point here is just to start to come up with ideas, and not judge your ideas, just to brainstorm. And then the next step is to make it easy, is to start with a way to do it really, really easy so that you can feel some success. So let's say in 30 seconds or in 1 minute, at the start of a day, can you decide what are my 3 most important things that I must do today? And I'm going to give myself 1 minute to decide to pick these things out. But again, the point is just to make it easy to start so that you can feel some success, because you want to feel good about this process. And part of that then is to take these big ideas and to turn them into small ones, so that you can decide then, okay, this is what I will start with. This is the first thing I'm going to do to control my time better, or to become increasingly organized. Okay, and does that make sense? So you think of a lot of ideas, but then you choose to start with. I would just choose one. And then once you have success with that, which hopefully is very quickly, then you can add another if you want to, if that's helpful. So this is something that you can do on your own. This is something you can do as a group, but start to decide. Now, I sent to Arlene a list of some ideas, and obviously I'm not going to go through them all, but from a book, from the Tiny Habits book, I sent her a list of ideas of specific things that you can do, and that's the place to start. And I'll explain this in just a bit more detail, because there's a process, there is a method to this that I would like to teach you today, and it's on the screen, but I'll explain it in a minute. But it's this ABC approach that I'll explain. And like I said, the point is make this, so the goal is to make change easy, and also to enjoy it, so that you can feel success. And this is what it looks like. So again, in English, it's ABC. And the way it works is you start with the after I. And so the first thing, the A, is something that you already do. It's a habit you already have. It's a routine. So it could be after I, that's funny, after I pour my first cup of coffee, I will, and that's when you do the new habit. Or it could be after I start my computer, I will. Or after I set my timer, I will. And then you introduce the new habit. I will decide my top 3 priorities for the day. Or I will, you want it to be something that's easy to do, so that it becomes a habit quickly. And then you want to celebrate the fact that you just did something new and right. Because your brain needs to feel good about what the change is. Because when your brain feels good, obviously you want to do more. If you feel badly, if you feel like you're making lots of mistakes, if you feel like things aren't going very well, then it's harder to make new change. And that's why you want to come up with these ideas for yourself, and then work at getting better at them. And actually a good idea is to practice with things that are not to do with work. That's actually the best place to start, is just to do some easy ones at home, for health, for organization, for perhaps a tidier house, things like that, to get started. In other words, to practice and show yourself that you understand how this works. And again, I sent to Arlene some examples that you can look at after this, to give you some examples, even like maybe you want to sleep better at night. So anything, but start with easy ones to do at home and then bring it to work and start using them at work. That would be my advice. So I'm not going to explain this because I just did, but really important things, that the reasons why this is a great process. One is, and I've said this a lot, I change best when I feel good, not when I feel bad. Again, 20 years, he's done this for 20 years of research on this, and that's what he's learned about people. If you want to do something new, you want to feel good about it, because you'll then will want to do more. When we feel bad, we don't want to do anything. So that's important. He has learned that it's our feelings that create habits, not just repetition, not just doing it over and over and over again. It's if when we feel good, then we want to do it more, and then it's easier for it to become a habit. Okay, so that's why it's part of the process. Now, celebration. I'll just be brief about this, but celebration is really, 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 really important. In fact, celebration is the most important part of this process, because you want your brain to instantly, immediately, right away feel good about the change that you're making, because it will speed up progress. Success breeds success. Okay, so it's very important. Do not skip this piece. Even it may feel strange, it may feel awkward, it may feel difficult, but keep practicing the celebration. And it doesn't matter how you do it. You know, it could be a yeah, but it could just be sort of a pat on the back. It could be something that feels good inside. There's lots and lots and lots of different ways to have your brain feel good. And but it's very important, because the habit will happen much more quickly, much faster, and that's good for everybody. And then ideas of celebration. I mean, there's lots of things you could do. Like I said, lots of things. It could be a big smile. It could be something you picture in your mind. You could picture one of your children clapping, or a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, just somebody clapping. Anything that comes to mind. It could be a dance, anything, whatever works for you. Okay. And I know it sounds a bit silly. I agree. But it's the most important thing, is for our brain to feel good. I can't emphasize that enough. Other good things. One, you stop being hard on yourself, because you realize that you're trying something new and you're making progress. And there's more to it than that too, but I'll explain that in just a second. What else matters? So how do you go big? Well, firstly, understand it's a change. So learning to change is a skill. So everybody, all of you can learn this. Everybody can, which is wonderful. But to go big, so if you want to go from tiny to big, then you can do it today if you want to. But you want it to feel natural. Okay, that's the most important word. You want to feel natural, not forced. That's important. Okay, and it's better to have many small wins, successes, than one big win. It's better to sort of, score a goal in every game than to score once every 3 months. I hope you understand that. So many small successes is a good thing, because again, it's a momentum thing. You get better and better and better and better and better. The trajectory keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and that's important. What else? Now, this is important too. You want to treat yourself like it's an experiment, like you're a scientist and you're trying to figure out what's the best way that works for you. And so when this way doesn't work, you don't say, oh, I'm terrible, I'll never succeed. You say, okay, this doesn't work. Well, what could I do differently next time? Maybe I should go over here or over here. Or maybe I should go this way. You just start to experiment and try things differently, because what works for the person sitting next to you may not work for you, and that's okay. It's a different way of looking at dealing with a problem. There isn't just one way to do all of these things. There isn't one way to be healthy. There isn't one way to be organized. There isn't one way to be great in relationships, right? So experiment. And that's really helpful to understand because it makes it, again, easier. And this is also important. Don't compare yourself to, again, the person next to you or the person across from you. I love this expression, and if you can translate it into Arabic, that would be wonderful. But like, my race, my pace. Like, I'll run my own race, and I'll run as fast as I can, but it probably isn't as fast as that person, and maybe it's faster than that person. It doesn't matter. Just stay on your race, and don't worry about what other people, because you will get better and better and better. You just might do it differently. So my purpose today is really to sort of, I guess, teach you this process that you can take responsibility for, that you can own your process. And when it doesn't work, you can say, okay, well, this didn't work. How can I do it differently so that it does work? Rather than saying, well, blaming someone else or making an excuse or something like that is part of the process. The most exciting part to this, though, is that it's actually not about tiny habits or small habits. What it's really about is what's up here in our heads, is we can learn to change, which is incredibly exciting. And we can sort of change what we think is possible for us. And that, to me, is the most exciting part, is when you realize, when you learn, I am the type of person who can change. I am the type of person who can get better. Then you start to say, I am the type of person where a lot of new things are possible for me because I now understand that I can make change because I start by making it easy. So that, to me, is what I think is incredible about this. It's just that most of us in the past tried to change by doing big things and failing, and then saying, okay, well, I suppose that's not for me. I'll never be that. We just didn't understand that real change for most people is like this. It's just gradually getting better and better and better. So if you want to help your business, your company get better and better and better, one, decide what type of person you want to be, and then come up with the ideas, then bring it down to something small, learn the process, and then you can go big and get better and better and better. That you can achieve. Anyone can achieve. And so what I've learned after 20 years is that change, I'm amazed. It can be easy. I never thought that was possible. You have the skill to learn it. It is a skill. All of these things build confidence too. Do not rely on your motivation. When you have motivation, do a lot. But when you keep it small, you can be consistent. You can still do it every day, day in, day out. It's your feelings that will create your habits. And to feel good, keep trying to feel good about what you're doing, because that will help you change faster. Really, this is all about mindset. So thank you, everybody. Forgive me, because I have to go to another meeting now. I apologize. And I would love to spend more time with you all. But anyway, good luck. And I'm happy to follow up another time. Aline, Naji.
Thank you, Matt.
Lovely to meet you all. And I'll sign out.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. And
okay.
I know that at
4:30
you have
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. It was a lovely day. Yes, the teeny habits. As much as we can change our tiny habits, it will help us how to grow and to make the difference in our life and to be the person that we want to be. 2021, let's make the best of it. Legacy Builders team, they promised me the best, and every one of you should make and promise himself and his family and his company and his country to be the best. See you later. See you on Friday with the legend that never dies at 2 p.m. Beirut time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Things I've never said, doing things I've never done. Oh my God, when I see you, I should it right. But I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, feelings I feel about us. Try to fight it, but it's never enough. My heart is hurting, it's more than a crush. Cause I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, but my heart goes. Cause my heart goes. Oh my God, can't believe what I've become. I'm thinking things I shouldn't think, singing songs I've never sung. Oh my God, when I see you I should run. But I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, feelings I feel about us. Try to fight it, but it's never enough. My heart is hurting, it's more than a crush. Cause I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, but my heart goes. Cause my heart goes. But my heart goes. Cause my heart goes.